That was the first time I was like, oh, tango can be wildly unfriendly. The biggest barrier for me to have a good time in a milonga is myself. If I asked someone to dance, it wasn't a fear of rejection. It was a fear that they would say yes, because then I would have to talk to them between songs.
Welcome back, everyone, to Staying Grounded, Vienna Tango School with,
John,
wow, okay,
that's me.
John, Amanda, and
Melody.
your jam team.
Yay, jam team, go jam.
And this is our season finale.
That's
so we
right.
Yeah,
changed the setup a
you're
bit.
about to get jammed up.
See, this is why we can't let John in front of the camera. Only once per season. But you guys have been asking about it, and there he is. And
That's
I
right.
get to be in the producer seat.
That's right. Well, let's see. Let's hope all goes well. We stay in focus, the audio levels. Hey, but maybe be a little extra forgiving if something goes wrong here, guys.
Because I'm behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
What are you talking about? This is
I
gonna be the
love
best episode ever.
You're talking
Guys,
way too close to that mic.
Sorry.
Sir.
What are we talking about today?
All right. Well, okay. Season finale. We thought we'd let you know that there will be a little break while we produce all of these, put them out, and then
Produce all these.
you
And
know,
then,
Amanda creates a human.
Come back from that.
Yep, and then hopefully we'll be back for season 3. But last
yes.
time we just kind of like stopped putting episodes out.
Yeah, because we're professionals at this. And,
Yes,
working it out.
Yeah. So yeah, today is actually John's topic to close out the season. All right, so if John can get over the weirdness of being in the chair, in Amanda's chair.
I have never seen this from this perspective. So I thought it would be fun to talk about our perceptions of tango from when we first started versus now after all of these years dancing and organizing and now teaching and doing all the things.
Yeah.
And really getting to know the ins and outs and nitty gritty of being part of the tango community, being part of the tango world.
And how your perception has changed throughout that entire time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right, so should I kick it off?
I think so, yeah.
So when I first started dancing tango, where am I looking here? Here. I'm looking at you.
You were having a conversation.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, how do
Sorry,
you
guys, we clearly didn't
How do you
prepare
guys
him
do
for
this? Okay, so when I first started, I mean, I've told the story before. I was in college. I was in college for engineering. I had never danced before. Very little exposure to not just tango, to dance in general.
And women.
And women. Why you gotta do this to me?
It's an important part of the equation, I think. For you, it's a part of your journey.
No, that's true. It's true. It's part of the journey.
We needed this a long time ago.
Yeah.
We needed Melody and John.
So are you enjoying this?
I am loving this.
Okay. So and yeah, so like all of my friends were guys, and then I distinctly remember having, you know, we're college for engineering. I distinctly remember times it's like a Friday night, a bunch of us dudes, a bunch of Asian dudes, we're sitting in the computer lab. It's like, and people were complaining that they can't get a date. Anyway, it's been a whole thing. So a guy friend of mine comes up to me and it says, "Hey, do you want to come with me to go dance Argentine tango?" Like, this is a friend of mine who has been friends for a while. I knew him in high school, and I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Like, Argentine tango, you're a guy and you want me to go dance with you? That's kind of, you know, that's not really what I'm about. And
just quick question. Did his parents also dance at this point?
Yeah.
And his sister?
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew that he danced and his parents danced and his sister danced in your community?
Vaguely.
Okay, all right. Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I didn't really know what Argentine tango was, right? Like, what I knew was, you know, what you would see on So You Think You Can Dance or Dancing with the Stars, right? Like, super dramatic and
It's so sexy.
Yeah. Like, it's very, like, you know, when we talk about when we tell people that we dance tango, they're like, "Oh, isn't that so sensual? It's such a sexy dance," right?
Yes.
And people think it's all like fedoras and roses and teeth and, like, you know, that really dramatic like Americana, right? And so that was my perception. And eventually I essentially had nothing to do. Like my friend kept bugging me. I had nothing to do. It was like over a winter break, and I kind of just went to shut him up. That was my goal. And I walked into that Milonga, and then I realized very quickly it's like, oh, this is very different than what I expected.
Mm.
Right? There was no obviously there was no Dancing with the Stars shenanigans happening. It was relatively contained. I think the average age was quite high. I was 20 at the times, and the average age was, I want to say, easily double my age, right at that
Mm-hmm,
point,
mm-hmm.
and probably higher. And I just thought it was a very nice like creative outlet. Like my life has been like quite regimented. A lot of engineering is very like technical, very like heady, and this seemed like quite creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like a very much a creative outlet, and that was my impression of it for a very long time. And it ended up being my social outlet for. I mean, still to this day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I,
Met
very,
all of your
all of
friends?
my friends, like very, it was such a
Your
kind of shock.
wife,
Guys,
your baby
guys,
mama.
okay,
Not there
guys,
yet. Not
guys,
there yet.
guys, okay. To all the single dudes, okay. Very, I mentioned that all my friends were men walking into this. Very, very quickly, all of my friends became women. Okay, like shockingly quickly.
But you developed like relationships,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not like romantic
No, 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 no,
relationships,
no.
but you got to know women as people.
Yeah, no, no. No, I was far too awkward to date any of them. Um, for a long time. No, but it was just learning how to like nothing romantic, right? Like when you're in the dance, and we've talked about it being like a sensual versus like being a sensual dance. As a leader, like when I was learning how to dance, it felt very awkward. I started with close embrace. It was very felt very stiff. I felt very awkward. I didn't know how to walk. Like you've been.
Did you know how to hug?
Um, it's been a long time. I don't remember. I should
I'm
ask.
gonna say probably not.
Okay, maybe not. And very gradually over a course of period of time, you get more comfortable, and then you grow into myself. So I feel like this is just turning into an episode about me, right? But no, I had. So when I first started, it was very quiet and was very shy, and in a lot of ways, I still am. And there was a lady that has started roughly around the same time as I did. That she moved away after a little while, and then she came back, and I'll never forget it. We were hanging out in the group, and then she was like, "Oh, this is who you really are." Like that's so like I think she was something along the lines of, oh, I would have totally dated you if I knew this was like who like the kind of
Oh,
personality that you had. Yeah, it was very like, I don't know, it was kind of nice to hear that like I had like,
come out of your shell.
yeah, 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 yeah. And that was it felt nice, like just to find yourself.
Hmm.
So but that, as far as first impressions go, right? Like I think it really shocked me in terms of what I expected based on just like cultural norms and what you normally see in marketing associated with Argentine tango
Hmm.
versus what you get when you go into social dancing specifically.
Mm.
Like I'm not someone who like, I'll watch a scenario if it's in the Mundial or something like that, and I find it to be very beautiful. But it is a very separate thing than what you would experience social dancing.
Hmm.
And social dancing, again, nothing like the marketing that you see. But yeah, but what was your first impressions of tango?
Versus reality.
Versus reality.
Yeah.
That's so. I I watched Moulin Rouge in college. And I was obsessed with this movie. So much so that I don't think I owned any other DVDs, but I bought the deluxe edition of Moulin Rouge, okay? Which, this is before streaming. So, like, it had bonus DVDs in there. And one of the things it had was a multicam. You could watch each of the angles of the Tango de Roxanne. that's in Moulin Rouge, which is the scene where, the courtesan has to go and appease the duke, and the writer is getting jealous, and so like they have this very dramatic. And I watched that scene like 100 times, and you could watch, just there was like a partner dance where all of the courtesans are, or the escorts, or what you will, are dancing with the men that work there, and they're dancing a tango. And obviously, like, these are dancers that are dancing whatever has been taught to them that they could teach them in this choreography, but they're doing ochos and they're being very dramatic. And I watched that so many times, right? So then, fast forward, and we're in this insane studio with all these wardrobes and other pieces that kind of echoes of Moulin Rouge definitely live in this space for sure. And then a guy asked me to go on a date to this workshop, and I was like, "Ooh!" And I was like, "What shoes do you wear to dance Argentine tango?" And I found online you need something that either has an ankle strap or ties and a leather sole. And I went out and I bought these heels, these Vince Camuto heels with laces on them and a leather sole. Oh yes, I bought this for this lesson, and I wore them on the date, and I went on the date. And of course, like, this was a, I still know the instructor. They teach at another local place. He's not a tango teacher. He's actually a salsa bachata teacher, and he knows enough tango to give people a teaser. So this was half tango, half salsa. So he talked about, the forward step, side step, back step, and taught the pivot. And I just remember, like, that pivot to me and my perception of tango from the Moulin Rouge clip. I was like, I'm doing tango. But really, actually, what happened is then, like, somebody who had been dancing a while asked me to dance, and I felt a lead. And, as a follow, it can be so cathartic to set aside all of your stress and your anxiety and your running to do and everything. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a type A person. Like, everything, like, we're doing a lot, so everything's tightly controlled. So, like, to not just follow, but to follow was like, oh wow. And there was so much power in it, that I searched and I searched and I searched for the lesson. And then coming, like, my journey, it was my catharsis. It was one that, like, I was a newly single mom, so taking care of my kids all day. I had an au pair, so I didn't need all of her time. So I could put them to bed and I could go take a class and or take a lesson. And as a single mom, like, when you become a single mom, you lose a lot of your friends because, well, they say that divorce is contagious, and they don't want to have anything to do with you anymore, right? So, like, you lose a lot of that. I had moved, so it became my social network, and interestingly, with people that didn't have kids. So suddenly it was like I was a human being again, right? And that was really powerful, that, like, I had friends that our only connection wasn't that we had kids, but actually we had this shared passion and this shared interest. And I would put the kids to bed and I would go dance like 6 or 7 nights a week. And then when they went to their dads, I would travel to dance. And it just opened up my whole world in a way that I didn't expect. And then I had a baby, and I kind of set it aside. It's not a priority when you have a really young one.
Yeah.
And it's very different having a child and being married than it is being a single mom, where there is inherently some off hours because your kids go off to the other parent, hopefully, when all is going well. So, like, you have some time you can kill. So it was a very different stage of life now. We had a baby. Like, to go out
Yeah.
dancing was
Yeah.
suddenly just our date night,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it was few and far between. Or if we did have to pay for it, it was like, now it was using childcare
Yeah.
hours we needed,
Yeah.
or it was paying. And
And
that's a different equation.
yeah, and a lot of our tango friends from like 10
Yeah.
years ago, they've now entered that stage of life where
Yes.
they've had kids or about to have kids,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you can tell that like priority has shifted,
Yes.
and
Well, and suddenly going to dance isn't, oh, I can just go dance and pay the door fee, but
right,
going to dance is, oh, I got to dance and then I got to pay a babysitter $25 an hour. Is it worth it? Like that's a different equation. So we didn't really dance a
right,
lot
right, right, right.
during that time. And then COVID happened
Well,
and
then you hurt your foot and COVID.
oh yeah, yeah, I messed up my ankle. Like I really messed up my ankle and I couldn't even put on a high heel for like I don't
It was like 6 months or
it
something.
was a long time. Yeah, it was really bad. And then COVID happened right as I was starting to heal. So there was a long period of time. And when COVID happened, I felt such a sense of loss. I was so sad. I know not everybody felt this, Amanda.
What? Come on.
Well, but maybe because like I
I was
was
at a
looking
very
forward to
different stage.
returning and
Yeah.
suddenly that was gone, right?
Yeah.
But okay, but hold on. But bringing it back a little bit. So how did your first tango class compare to watching Moulin Rouge 100 times?
For sure it was like the first tango class is awkward. Nobody knows what they're doing.
No.
But in the moment that we got to the ochos, I was like, ah, that's it.
Mm.
That's the
That's
thing they
why
were
you're.
doing. That's the thing that I watched that they're doing that's cool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I finally, so I searched and searched it and oh man, tango people are so bad at marketing. So finally, finally I found a tango teacher by way of Kizomba workshops. The
Mm-hmm.
teacher
Mm-hmm.
was teaching Kizomba and also tango. And so I was like, "Oh, I want tango." And they were like, "Oh, I also teach tango." And I don't know that if they dance Kizomba anymore, but they do still dance and teach tango. And I was like, "I want private lessons. Like, I want straight to the source. You just give me." And I now I know like I would probably discourage that from new dancers now, but I just wanted to get good fast. I didn't want to be stuck in the awkward place, right? And I was like, I let me throw money and time at it.
Yeah.
And so I did, and I did learn very fast
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
And with tango, you grow and then you struggle. And sometimes it's complacent. Sometimes socially it feels great and sometimes it doesn't. And like I always felt that the physical part of tango was rewarding enough that if the other pieces weren't there, if socially it wasn't feeling good, the physical was enough of a reward.
Yeah.
But I also know that as you dance more and more and more, it's harder to get that your tango high, right? It becomes more difficult,
Yeah.
which is part of my like fervor to grow our community and be like, no, 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 we can all advance together
Yeah.
so we can still keep getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think we've talked a lot about this journey
Yeah.
into teaching and how that changes things. So, and I would say that what is my perspective of tango now? I find the politics of tango really irritating.
Hold on, hold on.
Am
Before,
I jumping?
yeah. Before we get to that, so Amanda, how about
Okay,
you?
yes.
Because
You're big, yeah.
you were a dancer going into it.
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah.
my experience was much less interesting than both of yours. But I was in my first year in engineering, and it was a summer, and I had some time to kill because we were just doing summer research. I had transitioned from doing ballet, where mostly you dance with a core, and I wanted to learn partner dancing and signed up for ballroom, but accidentally showed up to tango. And honestly, from the first few steps, I was like, cool, all right, that's it. I kind
But
of like it.
did you have an impression of what tango was
No, I
before?
had zero.
Zero.
I didn't
Really?
have any, well, because coming from a dance background, you know what you see on TV and shows are very highly dramatic and choreographed. So
Okay,
I didn't think that was necessarily
Okay.
representative of
I
tango.
see. So you already knew that it
I
was.
didn't have expectations.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
my main thing was I wanted to learn how to communicate with a partner. So I was like, I just want to learn a partner dance.
Okay.
And for me, with a ballet background, a lot of people say, "Oh, you must have had such a great advantage." But when you do ballet, you have to be prepared several steps in advance. Over time, it smooths out, but you need to know three steps, which are like you need to remember what you're going to do, so you can smoothly transition between steps. So that was hardest for me was lowering that barrier to actually just follow without having the expectation of what the next 2 to 3 steps is going to be.
Yeah.
That was hard. And I think it took me a long time until I finally started to feel like real connection with someone where it felt like the out of body experience. You know, you're thinking, but you're not thinking. You're thinking about different things. You're thinking
Yeah.
about where you're touching, the connection. You're thinking about the feeling. You're not thinking about the steps, my feet, my posture.
Mm.
So that was what really I think hooked me into tango when I figured out that transition. And then music was a huge part for me. I
Yeah.
The music I think has kept me in tango probably longer than the dance.
Wow.
But like
Really?
feeling the musicality, feeling like the thing that I love about dancing is how the music feels in my body.
Mm.
I enjoy that more than the actual steps that I'm doing,
Interesting.
if that makes sense.
No, yeah. I I believe you. I don't know that it makes sense to me. You know, I played classical violin for 9 years, so there's a lot of the structure of tango makes sense to me intuitively because I've just done that music for a long time, and I understand like phrasing, and so I can hear a tango, and um, just the general structure of it makes sense to me. But I don't know
Not the
that.
structure.
No.
No, I mean the texture of the
Yeah, yeah, no,
music.
no, no. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
clearly
I
you.
learned the structure after the fact. I didn't know why,
Yeah,
but I just knew like the
Mm.
zoom feeling in my body or the tiki tiki taki taki or the
Ah,
yeah,
like that to me was what my body was craving and singing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah,
interesting.
for sure. I think you definitely have that relationship with music. I think for me, um, the thing I didn't anticipate about tango is everything else besides the dance, like the technical aspect of the dance itself. I think like socially it was very challenging.
Yeah.
Um, and that's something that I didn't anticipate. And even now, I find it to be kind of sometimes it becomes like it's an unfortunate barrier of entry to do this thing, you know, especially. So I started in a small town, and I know we've had listeners who want more of the small town perspective, so I'm trying to give the small
Mm-hmm.
town perspective. Um,
I
when you're
started in an even smaller town.
yeah,
Purdue
it's just
University.
when you're in such a small tango community. So like I was starting to think in New York. It's a relatively small town. Like it's a college town. So when it's during semester, there's like two colleges there. During semester, the town goes to like 25, 30,000 people, and then on the summer, it's like way less. Um, but even a town of that size, when I first started, I was lucky. I would have considered to be a pretty good community. We would usually have, I think, probably like 40 or 50 people.
That's a great size
It's
for
it,
that
it
Yeah.
it's a
population.
great size, but it's small enough where kind of everyone knows each other, and you don't
Mm.
really have, like we had like one teacher. We had like one Milonga.
At
You
Purdue in West Lafayette, we had maybe 10 people,
Yeah,
and we didn't have really teachers. We had, oh no, there were like grad students and professors that kind of
yeah,
taught,
yeah,
but we'd have to like pull teachers from Chicago
yeah.
or Champaign Urbana to become more indie.
Mm.
So it's so funny. Like I was in Ithaca for a long enough time where I definitely saw like I started at a peak, and then it definitely gradually decreased, and there was definitely when we were
Well,
when no when,
Joaquin left.
Joaquin
Wasn't he one of the
he
teachers?
yeah, I mean, he was a whole thing, but like when we were doing when we were dating long distance, I would send you pictures of me at a Milonga, and it's like four people at the Milonga, right? And then that was kind
Because I
of
was complaining about.
yeah. She'd be at some like a festival in Chicago. He's like, there's no way to dance with. I'm like, I don't know what you're complaining.
No, no, that's not true. I would be at like, at ESL and it would be a slow night with like 10 people. Because every once in a while that did
Yeah,
happen,
it's tango. It
And
happens.
he would send me this picture of like this dive bar with like peeling up linoleum and two people dancing. And I
And
was
you're
like,
like, okay.
okay, I got nothing to complain about.
So, uh, but what am I talking about? No,
Social
yeah, the
barrier.
social. So when you're in a small town, like everyone knows each other. Like everyone's friendly because
Mm,
it's very like close quarters. But like when you're, and I experienced this first, when I started traveling for tango. Like I went to, I think I like Yale Tango Festival, and then Princeton, and then like the first big city I went to go dance was in Montreal,
mm,
and I that was the first time I was like, oh, tango can be wildly unfriendly if
Mm,
you people don't perceive you to they don't know you, or they're not sure about your skill level, um, or whatever it is. There's like a million reasons why people, you know, are
sure.
risk
Yeah.
averse.
Yeah.
Sure, it's
Yeah.
understandable, and everyone, you know, we've talked about the cool kids, and then like there are cliques, and that's just the kind of, it's not really a tango thing. It's just kind of part of being a society. It felt like, you know, it's the cafeteria in high school, right? Everyone forms their little bubble, and then you stick with your bubble, and that's kind of what happens. And uh, but unlike the high school cafeteria, um, where you're comfortable in your own bubble, if you are a dancer and you're up and coming, and you see someone else who you think is a really nice dancer, but they belong in a different little social bubble, you're like, oh, how do I get access to this?
Hmm.
And because that's part of it, right? You grow as a dancer, and you feel like you want new experiences, and you want to dance with better dancers as you yourself improve. Um, but a lot of times these new dancers can feel inaccessible to,
Well, also
from where you
sometimes
are.
people think like, oh, if I get to dance with that person, it says something about my dancing.
Oh, the social
That's
ladder.
there's a heavy element of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and that particular that was a culture shock for me, for
Mm.
sure. That
From your small town.
yeah, from my small town that I very strongly disliked. And I mean, I've been dancing almost 19 years at this point, and I don't know that I'm have a good strategy to combat this, you know. Um, but just now, if I go somewhere new, you know, I'm aware that this is going to be the case, and um, been dancing long enough where I'm you know, comfortable that this is kind of the reality
Right.
that we live in, and that's okay, right? Um, but you know, 15 years ago, John would have been feeling was feeling really insecure uh, about that reality, and not feeling particularly like I belonged. Um,
Hmm.
I'm curious to build off of that with the both of you. What would you say today you still get nervous about? Because clearly there were different fears at the beginning. Maybe
Hmm.
some of them are still, maybe they're not fears now, they're just like nuances that you have to take care of, like the social setting, social interactions. But are there things today, if you were to enter, not because you're planning or organizing, you were just you showing up in a milonga that you still get a little bit nervous about?
Like our local Milongas, or if we were showing
Any
up in a new
milonga,
place.
anyone, maybe local and also new. A little nervous, or makes you feel a little giddy, or is that little like
I don't think I get nervous in our local Milongas at all. I think like generally, well, to be fair, I don't really go out by myself much because I would much rather go out with my husband. Like it's like the equation is like, oh, this is my free time. Would I rather spend it with my husband at home or at a
with my
Milonga by
husband? I
myself?
think this is
Well, if the choice is at
right.
home with my husband or at a Milonga by myself, 99% of the time, I'd rather spend it with my husband at
Assuming
home,
that you still
right? If
like
that's
him.
the only two
Yeah.
options.
Okay.
But if I can go out with John, I would. And I think knowing that John is there, like I know that I'll be able to dance, right? Even if nobody in the room asks me to dance, I know that I get to dance. So I don't have to be nervous about that.
Mm.
When I went to Greece with Sasha, though, we did go out to dance. And of course, we didn't know if anybody was going to ask us. We're two random strangers. This is like right as COVID was ending. Had no idea. Maybe I was a little nervous then. I think now I'm not nervous. Um, if anything, I understand that if I'm going out to a place by myself as a solo dancer, there's a chance I might not get asked at all. I'm not going to just accept any dance. I will watch. And if it looks like that person might hurt me, I'm not going to dance with them. And the only thing I worry about is like, I don't even know that I worry about it. I guess I have an understanding that there are probably going to be some scenarios where I accept a dance, they look good, it doesn't feel great to me, and I just have to be like, ah, well, that was what it was, and I just have to be accepting of it. But No, I don't think I get nervous. I think the only time is like if and this is like usually my preference is to not dance with maestros most of the time because then I might be nervous and I don't enjoy dancing nervous. So I'd
That's
rather
fair.
do a private lesson to get all those nerves out first. And I think that even like you can't give a maestro, you have to do more than one private, right? Because in the beginning you're nervous and they don't even feel the way you actually feel when you're dancing. So you have to do more than one so that you can unwind that anxiety and then they can actually diagnose what you could work on, right? So, no, I don't know. John, what do you think?
And maybe it's not nervous. Maybe it's like what's like the top things that's front of your mind to prepare for
Hmm.
entering that space.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's such an interesting question. So for a local milonga, I agree. I think largely I don't get nervous.
What about when you go out by yourself? You
Well,
do occasionally.
I
Very occasionally. Very.
John, I
Usually
feel
when I
nervous
make
for
you.
you when I enter a milonga.
why
I'm pretty
why
sure of this. I
why?
don't know. You just give me nervous vibes.
No, okay. So okay, to validate your feelings, I think I know what you're talking about. I think the biggest barrier for me to have a good time at a milonga is myself. I think there are a lot of times. I think we had this conversation on a podcast previously where I was saying that whether or not I have a good time is not so much the follower that I'm dancing with, is how I think I feel, like that how I feel myself. That I'm how what am I trying to say? That my own quality of movement at the time, right? If I feel
Hmm.
like I'm not moving in a way that is satisfactory to myself, to my own standards, I don't know that I feel like I'm having a good time. Does that make sense? It's like when I'm dancing, obviously I perceive what my follower is doing, and that's sort of part of the experience. But a big part of the experience is how I'm moving myself, and if I feel like
Yeah.
my body's not moving well, then I don't know that I have as good as the time. Even though maybe I don't think I'm moving well, but my follower still thinks
You
still
won't
thinks
believe
yeah,
it.
yeah. Then I don't know that that matters. I think that is a barrier for me, and that comes up locally. I, the other thing is like as a crazy introvert,
Mm.
there's social awkwardness that for me is creates some anxiety. Um, like if there's like a language barrier that for sure would be that would make me feel nervous. Just interacting with strangers can sometimes be a lot.
Yeah.
So that also creates some anxiety. Um, and like I told you, like I don't know, we were having a conversation at some point where I it wasn't. I was saying that it wasn't. If I asked someone to dance, it wasn't a fear of rejection. It was a fear that they would say yes, because then I would have to talk to them between songs. And that part was giving me anxiety, or not, anxiety is the wrong word. It felt a little daunting to put that much energy into an interaction, right?
Mm.
Just
Um,
don't let go. In between
No,
songs.
no, we don't need to do the
no,
lingering embrace. We
no,
don't got to do
no,
it.
no. Um,
Sometimes.
but also, and I think also the dancing with the maestros, I think is
Yeah.
also, I agree that that is difficult, and I think I'm trying to come to come to terms with it, because especially as organizers and where we are inviting maestros to come, I don't know if there's like that expectation that we will dance with them or
Hmm.
whatever it is, that I find to be
Well, I think it's a reverse. I think that usually it's like the expectation is that we have the expectation to dance with them and
yes.
they want to,
Yeah. And and I feel like I understand that that expectation exists. So I feel like if I don't, they might think that there's something wrong, and
yeah.
like there's some,
Yeah.
and I don't want to give that impression at all. So it's definitely this kind of area where it can be a little awkward as well. No, there's definitely some
Takes up a lot of.
yeah.
Well, but what about you, Amanda?
Well, no, I definitely actually do agree that if I'm at the Milonga and I'm thinking more about crap, I'm not moving right, da, 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 that will affect my whole night and my ability to be present for my partner. So like one thing I do before I enter the Milonga is like my choice of clothing and shoes are super important because if those things fits my mood for that
Mm,
night or for that day, I'm set for myself. Now
yeah.
I can be present for someone else. But as far as like things that are top of mind, mine is gonna sound so crazy to you. Because I'm in the stage where I'm trying to like just engage with people more personally. I literally run through my head like, okay, who am I likely to run to this milonga? Have I seen them recently? Who haven't I talked to recently? And I literally build like a short list of 3 to 5 people in my
Wow.
head that I want to like prioritize and make sure I have some time to talk with them in person. And that can bring me anxiety if I don't get a chance because we're getting pulled in different directions. Because I'm like, I've been trying to at least just even say hi to them within the last 3 times, and I feel it makes me feel so bad if I don't get the chance to like talk to them. So
Wow.
and then that way I also feel like if I don't talk to these other people, that's okay because I either just saw them or I'm gonna see them.
Mm,
So I feel
mm,
like a little
mm,
bit more calm and like from the social perspective.
mm.
Because that, when you become more known in a community, I mean, there's two parts of it. One is like when you become more known in a community, is if you don't interact with people, then it can come across wrong. But also, when you know a lot of people in the community and you only interact with some of them and not the others, then it also like kind of cuts you off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I literally would plan in my head when, or maybe when I enter the milonga, and I'm like, okay, this person, that person, that person. I'm gonna make sure I talk to them. If we can dance, cool. If not, that's fine. Let me just make sure I go have like a nice conversation with them. Weird, I know.
No, you put a lot of thought into it. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I definitely like, but John knows this.
People
Like,
go to you.
no, I'm quiet. I am a
Yeah,
quiet and
Mm.
reserved person, and it would be very unnatural for you. I think it's natural. Like you have this personality that is very natural. I am a quiet person. I am an observer. I am highly empathic, so I feel what people are feeling. So it is exhausting to me.
yeah,
So like as a photographer, amazing, great. I can like get to like exactly what I need to, but like as a person in a social context, that can wear me out very quickly. So I very much say to myself,
which is probably why I burn a lot of social energy in tango. So out when I
mm-hmm.
leave the milonga, I'm like done, and that's when if I
Yeah.
it gets I know yes, I'm just bad at communication, period. But part of that is because I'm just socially burned. Even just to read a message
Mm.
burns, like, brings me so much anxiety because it's a follow on conversation that needs to keep going or a task that needs to get done. So I ignore it until I can get my, like, social battery back up.
No, you know what I just heard about this? Someone said uh, that we have to recognize that there is administrative work in our life. Responding to all the messages is
Yeah.
administrative work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, this guy, he was the author of Atomic Habits, and he was saying, like, I have to recognize if I do something that's going to create more administrative work, do I want to do that thing? And like, I hear what you're saying because I think you and I probably both do the same thing where we don't open a message unless we can respond to it,
Yes.
right? I will not. I'll read the preview and I know I don't have the bandwidth
Yes.
right now, so it will stay. And unfortunately, sometimes if I get 20 messages that day, it gets buried.
Yeah.
And that just ultimately is like, we want to address it right then and there. So let me put it on the list for when I can actually address it. I feel you there. I very much feel you there.
For the justification. No, so yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah, the thing with the maestros, I usually try to like keep myself well out of their
Mm.
visuals so that they don't think I am expected to dance with them.
Uh,
And they're smart enough to know if they really wanted to dance, they'll find, like, they know how to play the game, right?
mm-hmm.
So, to your point, I remove that stress by removing myself out of their, like, line
Mm.
of sight in the middle of the
Yeah.
milonga.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So, interesting because now that we've like essentially having these experiences in a way sounds like you've almost changed a little bit from before tango to now?
A lot of it changed a
I
lot
didn't
of
want to
it.
make assumptions. So, where would you say that as a person you've changed? Do you feel more confident? Do you feel more aware? Have you learned something about yourself that without tango you would have maybe taken
Mm,
longer or never have
yeah.
learned? And then have you applied that to other areas of your life? See, guys, this is why I can just sit in the director's chair. I'm good at the questions.
Um, like I said, before I started tango, didn't really talk to girls, and that was, and that was it was for sure throwing me in the deep end of, oh, this is here's the ability to interact with 50% of the other humanity, right? And and that was obviously very, very nice. Um, and coming out of my shell, growing a lot of confidence in myself as a person, not just my ability to dance, but as a person. I think also a big part was just learning more about myself and being open to new experiences in general. So, like I said, I was doing engineering for a long time. Like I was a junior when I first started dancing, and I wouldn't, I don't, at the time I wouldn't have said this, but I think looking back, I don't think I was like particularly happy. Like one,
Mm,
like when I first started dancing tango, I think
mhm.
like I think my day to day was just not particularly inspiring to me. And I didn't know it myself, but like having found tango and doing tango gave me that creative outlet that was very important. I think
Mhm.
for my life. Like I know for a fact that uh, that like going into it, I don't think I was particularly happy. That semester that I started tango, like right, I started tango in the winter, like the winter break. My grades like shot up in the spring
Mm.
semester. Like I was like super motivated. I remember there was days where I was uh, like cranking through like homework because I knew there was like a tango thing that I wanted to get to. There were days where I would forget about eating because I was just like too excited about going to tango. Like I lost 20 pounds that semester
Mm.
because I was like walking around campus. I
Wow.
was skipping meals because I didn't have time because I needed to finish my work so I can go to tango. And like my grades like improved like dramatically. So there was like that part of like like a quality of life thing that I think was very, very important to me. Um, and so in general, like I think especially at that age, you have some idea of who you are, right? Like I mean, like
Mm.
you feel like you get pigeonholed in this one role in life, but then you're not particularly open. It's like, oh, like because I walked in, I was like, I'm not a dancer. I don't dance, right? This idea of dancing is like, who, like that's not a thing, but apparently it is a thing, and like it's a great thing, and so you think it's like, okay, maybe there are other things that are really great that I'm just not
Mm.
open to, and I should explore because you know who knows, right? You never know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just learning about yourself, I think is really, really great. Um, and it's just a pathway to do that. And honestly, like I think just dancing is very therapeutic. I want to say like
Yeah.
there's
Whoa, that was a deep sigh. I heard every moment of
I
that
saw
sigh with these headphones on. It was amazing.
we I think and disagree with me if you guys think I'm wrong. I think we put on a lot of masks in our lives, like constantly,
Yeah.
all the time, right? Whether it's, um, we're never, I think, truly ourselves. Very, very rarely truly ourselves. Whether it's like, because like we're like, if you're at work, you need to interact with your work people in a certain way, your family a certain way, your friends in a certain way. That like all these qualities are because because you know that people have expectations of you, so you are trying to meet those
Sure.
expectations, right?
Yeah.
And um, but that might not necessarily be what you truly feel. And I feel like when you're dancing, when you're moving like that, you really get to be truly yourself, right? No one's there to like judge you, and that was one thing. No, no, no. Sorry,
But it doesn't matter.
it doesn't. I should say that it doesn't matter. I do know that like when I first started dancing, like I was very concerned about people watching me dance. Like I didn't want to be like that would give me anxiety if people would watch me. Now I'm thankfully it's been long enough where I'm kind of used to it, and I don't think too much about it. And you just get to feel more free when you're dancing.
And have you translated that into your normal life? Do you feel like you can take off the mask more at work now?
No,
Oh,
no, it's just an outlet.
okay, okay.
I know because I find because I do know that eventually it's like I get to do this thing. If I feel like I need to have some sort of outlet, I get to go
Okay.
do this thing, and I get to feel more like I can unburden, and like experience what it's like to be 100% genuine with yourself.
I have the opposite problem.
Really?
Yes. And the more confidence I gain in tango, not just like, yes, I am like that kind of like just confidence in yourself and who you are and knowing who you are. Now, it's incredibly challenging for me to hide that. And so, especially in the work environment, I am constantly having to remind myself that I can't always be truly myself. But I usually will default to myself until I feel like, maybe I crossed the line. Let me take a step back. It's
Mm.
very hard for me to peel it back once I like
Mm.
discovered it. And then usually when I hit barriers and people are like, well, I didn't like the way this happened, or maybe you could have improved, I'm like, okay, fine. I'll change my language. I won't do this. Then it becomes a mental energy
Mm.
to like block what I would normally want to say or do at work, to not like cross people's expectations. I don't know. What about you, Melody?
I get that. I mean, well, I've stuck my foot in my mouth before, right? And hopefully we realize when we do it. And I'm generally a little obtuse sometimes. I don't recognize when I say something that rubs somebody the wrong way, or when I'm saying something, actually, I don't always recognize that somebody might have a vastly opposite opinion and it will be judged. Because like I said, I try to be not judgmental. And so sometimes I don't even realize like that's just weird to people, you know? So I don't know. But with like tango and like motivations to do it and how we feel about it, when I started, it was also my therapy. It was my catharsis. It was like I needed it. It was the only time I could shut off and I didn't have to be the boss and I wasn't like, making sure that everything is done, and to have it was also a unique place because I had 3 young kids and I had just finished breastfeeding and I had been breastfeeding or pregnant for like, I don't know, 6 years straight. This is a long time, right? And at some point, like I say that like, a mama cat after her kittens are getting a little older, she'll start to stand up and walk away as they're still nursing because she's like, I'm done. I'm done. And like I felt like that. Like I had just been touched out. And to suddenly have a physical avenue that was not that it was not that they needed something from me, but that we were both sharing in something physical and to be present, to just be present
And to be called Melody,
and to be called
not
Melody and
mom.
not mom. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That was like, oh, that was everything. I think I tried yoga a couple times and like I found that same sense of peace that you get with a really good dance at the very end of yoga and then I was like, I don't have time to like do this for an hour before I get to that place. So and I just found like within the first 3 minutes I could get there and yeah, that was incredible. And now it's harder to get there.
Yeah.
Now it's more like I think now, I've gotten through the Dunning-Kruger curve to be like, oh, there's like so much. There's so much, and it's like the frustration of a lack of time to fully explore all that I want to explore, both as a leader and as a follower. That I wish that there was more time, but we have real life.
I think that part specifically. Oops, sorry. That part specifically, I think it can be a good thing because I think, like when I first started dancing, and I see the quote unquote good dancers,
Mm-hmm.
it felt like that the top of tango was like a very small group of people,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then you grow as a dancer and you realize that actually this idea of a good dancer is very, very broad and everyone has something to offer. And part of it is just, can you identify what it is
Mm-hmm.
um, that whoever you're dancing with is offering, and
Mm-hmm.
then and you can derive joy from that as well. So it there's this whole other world to explore and not just kind of, oh, like these are the good dancers and that's like a tiny like the top 1% or whatever. No, it's like everybody has like something.
Yeah.
And um so it's no longer this thing where you're aiming to kind of join this elite group or whatever. You're just, it's like, oh, like I can, there's so much more to explore.
Mm-hmm.
So and yes, our time is very limited,
Just very limited.
unfortunately, but that's okay.
I get why tango nomads exist, though. I
Yes.
get it. I do get it.
Yes.
Can we broaden your question a little bit, John? We have a few minutes left in this special 1 hour long
What, this has been
special.
an hour?
We're 52 minutes.
What?
Wow.
Oh wow, so
Um,
this is how this
I was
happens.
trying, you see,
Uh-huh.
this is me trying now to bring us back to the end. I'd love to broaden that question from just good dancing, but what do you find now to be a good night out or to be a good experience when you go out, whether it's in a milonga or a festival or marathon, than you did from before? What's your threshold for
Oh,
I
I
had a
want to
good
go
night?
first. I want to go
Okay, you
first.
go first.
It has nothing to do with dancing.
Ooh,
It's did I have a good time with my friends?
yeah.
That's what it is. That's all it is. It's not about did I get that ton in this ton in, did that person dance with me? Uh, How is my no, it has nothing to do with that. It's did I have a good time with my friends?
That was it. Wait, is there more?
No, that's it.
Let me
It's
more
like we
explanation.
we go through that growth curve where we're like, "Oh, okay, am I learning enough? Am I learning? Okay, did will that person dance with me now? Does that mean that I'm good? Did I arrive?" And like all the time it's like ultimately we're so focused on like this nebulous goal up here that we're like not just like having a good time, spending time with people. And it's like and maybe this is that I've been dancing long enough that I feel comfortable in my dancing. I also recognize there's still places to grow, but I don't feel that I need to be just dissatisfied or that I need to like um, be negative toward myself or my own quality of dancing because it's just it'll change. It's going to continually change. My body's going to change. So whatever. But did I have good conversations with people? Did I maybe it is that I talked to somebody new and we had an interesting conversation I wasn't expecting that could be delightful. But did I just get to hang out and have a good time with my friends? Maybe we danced, maybe we didn't. Like, did I have a good time with my husband? That's it. That's
I love that.
yeah. What
John?
about you, babe?
Yeah, let's save John for last since
Oh,
it's this
okay. What about you,
episode.
Amanda?
I'm similar, not limited to friends, but for me, my gauge of prior to some, when I don't know when the inflection point was, but yes, before it was, did I get the top three dances that I wanted? Did I feel good? Did I like meet my dancing quota for the night? And now it's, did I have a really meaningful conversation? It's
Mm.
so random. But I think, remember there was that one, I don't know if it was the Brazo or Los Amigos, where I sat with someone the whole
Mm,
time, and we just talked.
yeah,
And
yeah, I
Melody was
remember
like,
that.
"What's going on?"
I was like, is everything okay?
And we just talk. I mean, we couldn't stop talking. And
Hmm.
I was like, "Listen, I'm sorry. I don't mean to stop you from dancing." He was like, "No, no, no, no." We talked about so many things that were so like interesting and also
Yeah.
timely for me. With like kids, raising kids, family, tango. I really remember the breadth of conversation, but it was like nonstop. And having tango in the backdrop, that's exactly what happened. Tango became a backdrop, and we had just this like amazing 1 hour long, 1.5 hour long
Yeah. This is why
conversation.
we need long milongas.
So you can have time
So we can
and
have
then
time for
dance
this. Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I can have one or two of those in the night, I'm like, oh, I feel satisfied. So that's for me. John?
Um, I used to I used to feel like you. It was kind of like I had like my top three dances that I want to get, and it was really bad because one, I felt like if I didn't get those dances, I would have a bad night.
Mm.
Um, and because I also had this idea of like this is good dancing versus bad dancing. Like in your head, you're kind of like, oh, this person's a better dancer than I am. If this person who's on my list dances with this person who is better than I am, I can't dance with this person afterwards because I don't want that person comparing my dancing, which is obviously worse, with the previous dancer who's obviously better, right? Like it becomes,
Oh
it
wow.
Your
was, it,
mental gymnastics, John. But
Wow.
actually, that's a really good point. Sometimes, like, you'll dance. I'm so sorry. Sometimes, like, every now and then, like, I'll dance, like, let's say a maestro or someone like the maestro in the Milonga, and then someone will ask me right after, and I'm like, dude, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like, I just danced with this amazing
yeah,
maestro. Give
yeah,
me a tanda or
yeah,
two
yeah,
to
yeah,
come down.
yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely was in a very unhealthy place mentally, comparing myself to other dancers and like setting these expectations for my night would be to qualify as a good night. Now it's definitely very different. I agree. It's a lot of am I just hanging out with the people that I want to hang out with, um, and am I able to find whatever it is to enjoy with the people that I choose to dance with, right? I'm not looking to dance with um, the best dancers in the room. You know, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, that's totally fine as well. I'm trying not to tie my own experience with I think expectations other people have of either me or have of the night. I think there are people who go to a Milonga and it's like I'm here for tango. I got to dance as much as I can. I got to dance every set, right? And I that's just not me.
Mm.
I don't feel that way about um, uh, what I need to do
Right.
at a night at tango. Um,
And some nights we're even just going out to support the organizer. We're
right,
not even
right,
going for the
right,
dancing at
right.
all. Like,
Exhausted, but we'll still
yeah,
roll out of
yeah, there are
bed.
definitely
Yeah,
nights we drag ourselves out because we
yeah,
feel obligated because we want to support the people that are
Especially if they have
organizing.
a special night.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And just trying to manage my own expectations. And so this is one part of tango that I think is the one of the most challenging things for me is that very often there's a gender imbalance. There's
Mm.
often many more follows than there are leaders, and when that is happening, and I see this this whole row of follows that are not getting dances or just sitting for the night, I even if it's not my event, I feel like, oh, I need to be out there, I need to be dancing, and that pressure that can feel overwhelming and makes me like not want to be there or not enjoy the night, as I try not to let that affect me, and getting better at it, but it's not perfect. um, so but you know what, I think the answer is like a whole bunch of little things. Like I love it when like I feel comfortable in my clothes, right? Like you mentioned, right? Like if I'm
Yeah.
yeah, if I'm not happy of how I look, it's like, oh, this is it's already a rough
What
start.
little lacy see-through top you got, John? Just saying. Just saying.
So yeah, no, it's definitely, I think, trying to enjoy like the little things, and trying to be present, and having my own night out without too many expectations. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, for sure.
So wow, we have recapped our journey in Tango, and we had another episode where we recapped our journey with VTS.
Yeah.
This feels like a very nice pause in our programming.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we'll have even new, fresh, hot topics, sensational and
Well, and
unsensational.
also, I think this is really, listener, this is your opportunity to tell us what you want to hear. Do you have burning questions? Did you have comments? Were there topics that we glossed over that you wanted us to go a little deeper into? Like, we read the comments even when we don't reply. Um,
Sorry, Tatiana.
but we really do read them. Yeah, but we really do read them. And we try like really, it's just a matter of like a limited number of hours in the day and minutes. But tell us, what would you like for us to talk about?
Yeah.
Listener's choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has been a pleasure recording these sessions. I'm
Yeah.
gonna miss you guys for like a month and a half, hopefully no more than 2 months.
Oh, you'll be busy.
Yes, but
You'll
that means I won't miss you guys.
no, you'll be having a good time. You'll be
I might be sending some SOS messages.
That's fine. That's also fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Until the next time,
Until the next time.
follow us, like, subscribe. Know that we are growing. We have Milongas, we have a school, we have a podcast.
If
and
you're in
hey,
DC, come say hi.
definitely
We
come
find
say
it pretty
hi.
cool.
anything else I'm missing from the producer side, John, that I have to
No,
say?
no. I think it's
I
so
hit up.
interesting being on this side of the camera.
Yeah, quick, like 30 seconds. What was that like for you? These were now in the blooper scene. We've now
There's a
officially cut.
lot of things looking at me. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
things pointed in this direction with all the lights and then like lenses.
This
of-
one and this one and
Like
this
10
one.
different camera.
Yeah,
Five,
yeah,
four,
That one.
plus
But
the
Yeah.
monitor.
no, it's fun. I could get used to this. You know,
Okay.
I mean, don't want to take your spot. I know.
No,
Do we need to get like a love seat or
Can I still stay in the director's chair? Can you just place me in there? But
yeah, that's right.
No, but
all right.
anyway, okay. Well, thanks everyone, and we'll see you when we get back.
Yeah. Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Staying Grounded. If you like this episode, please subscribe and give us a like. We would love to hear from you in the comments, and we'll see you next time.